Right, let's get started. Now, security officials at the Ghana grid company, GRIDCo, say that they're overwhelmed by the attacks on their installations and, of course, those of sister power companies. GRIDCo was the target 2 weeks ago when a pylon was hacked down. Many more pylons were targeted, and the ECG also suffered a similar attack weeks before. GRIDCo and on Sunday VRA have been targeted too. Now, the timely intervention of security personnel of GRIDCo foiled what officials say could have had a major effect on the operations of power distributor VRA and other depots within the power enclave at Tema. Now, head of security for GRIDCo, Major Lawrence Appiah, retired, told journalists who were at the site that this was a serious situation.
And we are here to show you what bad elements who are trying to bring Ghana down attempted to do. Unfortunately, they did not succeed. About 2 weeks ago, you were here to see a pylon that has been cut down by unknown persons. Whatever they seek, we don't know. But we think that they are not people who want the good of Ghana. We all know how the government is working hard to improve power for all of us to enjoy. Unfortunately, few people are not interested and they are trying to do things to bring it down. Of course, we are not going to sit down and allow it. So we have done all we need to do to have soldiers, police, the BNI, the national security, all assisting us to ensure that we nip it in the bud. Unfortunately, 3 days ago, they attempted again, but our security guard, as you can see, the security post up there, saw them and gave our soldiers a head up. So they chased him and they ran away. He had already lit the fire, trying to burn the fuel lines on the ground to cause a possible explosion in the enclave. The VRA also very close here have a fire tender that drove in quickly to make sure the fire was, quelled. We just want to use your media to tell those who are doing this, those who don't want the good of Ghana, to be very careful and be very firm in what they intend to do, because we are ready. We have the soldiers. Of course, I'm a soldier, and I know that we have rules of engagement, but we will not hesitate if arrest is not possible to shoot to kill, because Ghana must succeed. So we are going to show you in the JFE to see what people in Ghana want to do to Ghana. That is going to affect everybody. Every economic activity, is driven by this power. We are all trying to work hard to make sure we succeed. So the lack we had was that there was no fuel presently in the lines. If there had been fuel, I'm sure it would have gone off and all of us would have.
Not for VRA.
It's not for VRA. This is not for VRA, it's not for GRIDCo. But the bottom line is that we are all co-located. And so when one is hit with such an attempt, everybody was going to have their effect, and the resultant effect for Ghana will be very bad. But what I do know is that whoever sought to do that didn't intend to pick anything away. So intention was to bring Ghana down because there was no economic activity. For instance, the pylon you saw the last time, we have had threats on them, and that's for those who sell scraps. They're able to remove some of the members to go and sell them. So those are to be expected, and we'll work against that. But for somebody to sit down to cut a whole pylon down so that power will go up, I don't see his motive. If it's not sabotage, then I don't know what he seeks.
So when you say he, who are you referring to? When you say he, you kept mentioning.
I'm talking about the perpetrators. I don't have anybody in mind, but I do know that this was done by human beings.
What was going to be the likely implication if they succeeded with whatever?
It is going to affect the power. You know that the power we were trying to work on at Pokwase brought some power, and the other one here, when you get it happened. So if that had gone off, affected GRIDCo pylons or VRA activity operations, eventually the resultant effect will be the power that we all seek to enjoy. And that will be very bad for all of us.
Right, now, our very own Ernest Kojomenu was there. He joins me in the studio now with an update. Ernest, good to see you.
Well, thank you, Kojo.
Now, I'm a bit surprised. These acts of alleged sabotage are becoming serialized, but I thought they said they were going to beef up security around these installations.
Absolutely. 2 weeks ago when I went there, we went to see the pylon that was hacked down. Well, the Energy Minister, John Peter Amewu, he told us in the presence of the GRIDCo officials that they were going to beef up security. In fact, the man we just heard, the head of security, told me that they had brought in some extra men to patrol the place because you have all sorts of people coming in there. It's a big enclave. So sometimes, in fact, today when we got there, we saw some people with cattle, and so this is not the first time. We are told that even before the pylon was hacked down, we had ECG, which is also close by, attacked. Then now we are seeing a gas pipeline, which lies just in front of VRA and right after GRIDCo. So this is a major security issue, but they say they have beefed up security, and that is why this one was identified in the first place. We can listen to the head of security who give us an update as far as the security situation is concerned at GRIDCo. Here he is.
Actually doing our best. As you saw at the gates, you saw military people are there, you saw a vehicle patrolling. And I'm telling you that it's because of those security measures we put in place that made them not to succeed with this time. Because the security post, as you can see up there, saw him, the 2 guys or 3 guys, trying to use the cover. And then he gave the police, the military heads up. So they drove in quickly. And they had lit it and they had to run it. So they didn't have enough time to do what they were supposed to do. And so, yes, we have the police supporting us. The BNI are here, the nationals. We have had a meeting. What we intend to do is to link with all those that have asset in this enclave, the security managers, and see what we can do to make sure the place is well cordoned to be able to stop these perpetrators from.
Is it not shocking that they were not able to apprehend these 2 or 3 guys?
Yes, but
looking at the heavy security presence coming at the eve of
you see,
pylon.
in the military, and I want to use that one, every obstacle that you have can be surmounted by the enemy. The only advantage you have is that it delays him. It delays him. So it will not give him enough time quickly to do what he wants to do. It will delay. So if you have your key in your house, the thief can come, and if he has enough time, he can do what? Break in. But the key is supposed to delay him so that if you are lucky and you are going around, you can come and do what?
So
Get
can
him.
we conclude that insiders?
I'm not talking about anybody insider. No insider will come and blow the implement of which his livelihood depends off. I don't see it.
The alacrity with which they
We are now doing our best to make sure that from behind we use all the sources that we can use to get to know those who are. And then when arrest is made, that's where you investigate. If you haven't made an arrest, you cannot investigate. Of course, like GRIDCo, we are doing our own investigation to see whether it could have been prevented, what are the measures we have to put in place to make sure it doesn't happen again, as we did, and we're able to push this one away. I hope you understand.
So how many security personnel do you have on site now? The military, the BNI?
I am unable to tell you because of security reasons. But I can assure you and assure Ghana that we have security in place, and we'll do our best to make sure that those who are doing it are arrested. But let me sound this word of caution. I said that if possible, it's not possible for us to arrest, we'll do what? We'll shoot to kill.
Have you reported this?
To who?
The police?
Yes, I've told the police are here, regional police commander. They have all come to do what they are. It's not BNI is here, National Security has been here. We had a meeting, in fact, yesterday with Saros owners, and we have advised that they quickly cover them. If there are any exposed pipelines anywhere, we are also escalating to those in Abuazi and other places to ensure that these people do not succeed elsewhere.
Right, well, luckily this most recent alleged sabotage did not affect the supply of power. But Ernest, in spite of the fact that we've had a...
And just to put this in context, it's still under construction.
Right.
This gas pipeline we're talking about is still under construction. And we're going to hear from the officials at Cyrus Petroleum Services, the owners of these pipelines, and they'll tell us more about that.
Very well. Of course, we also had the damage to the pylon, which caused minimal disruption, quickly solved. In spite of that, though, we're still experiencing power cuts, even though we were told that the load shedding exercise had been suspended. PDS didn't need to publish any further time.
In fact, PDS told us that GRIDCo had told them they had enough generation. And so I put a question to the chief engineer in charge of transmission. He tells me that if there's any problem as far as providing electricity to Ghanaians is concerned, it has nothing to do with GRIDCo. It may be as a result of some external factors. As far as they're concerned, they have enough generation and they are transmitting that to the power distributor.
Right. Well, something external to GRIDCo.
Absolutely.
Makes you wonder what that could possibly be. Of course, we're going to very quickly now connect via Skype to Prosper Ni Norte Ado. But before that, let's very quickly listen to the engineer that Ernest spoke to about power cuts.
Seriously, I wouldn't say that this has affected, is the cause of outages that is going on. No. But you can see a lot of lines are here. So the loads that are coming from the generating stations are being carried by the other conductors, other towers that are we have about 7 lines here. So 2 are down. And then the other ones are still carrying. They have the capacity to carry. So since that point, that time, nothing happened. But the very day this thing collapsed, the system, there was a little bit of destabilization, and it settled. That was the very day, and it didn't really, as we speak, that's why we are even taking our time to do this thing gradually in-house. It's not given out to any contractor, but we are doing it in-house. Yeah.
So just again for emphasis, you're saying that you don't have problems with your transmission and that you are sending power to the various...
Oh, yes. That is a fact. That's the fact on the ground. This is not affecting anything. It's not the cause of outages and things. Outages that comes out could be other factors and not necessarily this one. Okay.
Right, well, there you are then. So I suppose we could now very quickly connect with Prosper Ninote Ado. He's a security expert based in Liberia. Got a bit of insight into all of this that's been unfolding. Mr. Ninote Ado, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, Kojo.
Right. Now, these attacks on these power installations, they're not random. They appear to be the work of somebody or people who are determined to, well, to do what exactly? Who benefits from this?
Kojo, let me start by saying that this act is criminal and it must be condemned in all sense. My second expression would be that if those people responsible are caught, it must face the full rigors of the law. Having said that, I must move on to say that these things happen for various reasons. Now, if it is established that as a result of sabotage, then perhaps all kinds of things will begin to go into it. Why would you have to go buy and burn a pipeline? You know, so then you then have your people talk about political motives or other motives. It happens in Nigeria, where in such cases people go in there, get fuel, have access to oil and sell. Of course, also when people are not really happy with certain issues, could also use it as a way of undermining the interest of security of that particular installation.
Right, okay. Now, at this point, GRIDCo is suggesting that they are going to shoot to kill if they find any other trespassers. This is a massive enclave, not the easiest tract of land to patrol and secure. What should they really be thinking of doing in terms of deterring and catching those who are behind this?
Now I understand which the retired major is coming from. Let me state quickly to say that the shoot to kill balance has been often expressed by various persons, and normally we are quick to shoot and kill. The quick and kill issue is not it's not supposed to just be the recourse to certain deterrent acts. You know, in this particular scenario, you have internal security, and like we had a discussion the other time, this falls mainly within the domain of the police. They are in charge of maintaining the order of the country, and the police must be on top of this to investigate and get culprits arrested. Normally, this is what is supposed to happen. On the other side of the issue is that when such things happen, you'll notice that perhaps residents might be in the area.
Forgive me for the interruption, but you made a point there, and I really want to clarify. Are you saying that it's actually unlawful for the security officers of these power companies to issue a shoot-to-kill order? Would that be illegal?
Well, let me put it this way. For a shoot-to-kill order to be ordered, it must be that all the other options in deterrence and in arrest and prosecution has not succeeded. in which case you have elements who are out there and they are there to shoot, and perhaps there's a need for defense. This could be terrorists, this could be armed robbers, and all that. And that's when the police would react in a similar manner. Now, if you notice, I'm using my words carefully. I'm using the police, not even the soldiers to start with. Because if you talk about soldiers, it's an issue of defense. So normally the police must be on top of it. Okay? The case must be reported, and the police must take measures to respond to this effectively. It is when the police are overwhelmed and they cannot do anything this that have the option of bringing in the military to support.
Right.
The Constitution is clear. Defense is a military, and internal law, order is for the police.
Very well. So let's now focus on how they should go about securing this massive enclave. What would be your advice? Where can they begin to make sure that this place is safe and secure and cannot be trespassed upon as freely as it has in the past?
So my first recommendation will be that all these places, whether in Takoradi, whether in Tema, or any, there must be adequate security provided. All over the world, you have this done, and it's very important. Secondly, in which area are these installations located? Is it a recent residential area? Are people informed enough about the activities going there? What these institutions are supposed to do? Have they been sensitized about their limits? You are not supposed to go with a particular range. Now, all these must be done. Then, when it comes to the issue of deterrence, you can never use the military and the police to effectively counter any of this act. Don't involve the public. Let the people in the area know about this, and let the partner, the police, to deal with the issue. Let them provide information. And let the police get active, and people who are responsible for this arrested. This will serve as an effective deterrent measure. I don't think it's beyond that when we start using the soldiers and all to come in and shoot and kill.
Right. Now, going forward, obviously, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on the power supply arrangements here in Ghana, and these things don't help. In broad terms, what sort of security measures should the ministry be considering to ensure that whatever problems we have, the human element doesn't become yet another of our headaches?
Perhaps the first one I'll talk about is politicizing the matter. Like we had a conversation the last time, we have politicized everything. And it's usually between the NDC and MPP. And so for a reason to be found, it could be that these are elements who are against the government that have to protect this act. Have we established this fact? If it is true, it must be condemned. And whoever can prevail elements must give them the necessary, precautions. And so it's important that we desist politicizing this issue and approach it as collective elements to secure national interest. That is the first aspect of it. Let's not do again MPP, NDC, and finger point. If we always put that route, we are not helping ourselves. Being objective, look at the issues carefully, and find effective ways of addressing them. Now, secondly, the Ministry of the Interior must ensure that the police is on top of the issue. If they need further assistance, certainly, IAEs and whoever, which agency to seek assistance can also come.
Right. Well,
I think that thirdly, it's important that as soon as possible.
Very well, and I want to thank you very much for your time with us. Prosper Noteado is a security expert. He's based in Liberia, and he's got an eye on our power situation. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Ado. Now, before you leave us, Ernest, you've also been speaking to Sirius Petroleum Services. They are the ones who are laying the pipelines that got tampered with.
That is so, and I spoke to the head of Security, Safety and Environment. He tells us the real impact of this, what this attack, could have brought on the nation, how this pipeline is interconnected, and what really could have happened should they have succeeded. We can listen to Mr. Daniel Ameho.
Well, from my side, we had a call yesterday around 9 o'clock in the morning when I was in a meeting that somebody attempted tampering with our pipeline. So quickly I sent my men over here to have a look at it. And then they also reported back to me. So this is the project manager on the project. So he came to have a look at it and then assured them that, okay, there's no fuel in the pipeline at the moment. It's under construction, yeah.
Okay, so before moving on to the impact it could have had, on the enclave and the power situation, tell us about the pipe, where it's from, who
the size,
supplies to?
Currently, the pipe is not supplying to anybody. As I said, it's under construction. There's a terminal we are constructing over there that is being connected to another terminal in the western part, Cyrus. So it's not connected yet. There's no fuel in it. It's only water that is in it. So it's, for now, I would say it doesn't pose any danger to the area. Yeah.
So let's say if why they are open, is it why they have displayed?
Because we haven't finished what we are supposed to do on it. That is why it is open. You could see that the other parts were covered all the way down to the tall wall. Yeah. If fuel were to be in it and then somebody touch it, it would have affected the whole thermal enclave over here. In the sense that we have all the pipelines interlinked to thermal oil refinery, to the harbor, to the jetty, and then moving to APD, from APD to Mamiota. Wow. So there's a network of pipelines over here. So if there were to be fuel in it and the person has succeeded, the whole fuel supply, the power enclave would have been in trouble.
So is it because there was no fuel in it, that's why you didn't have security here?
We have our security men patrolling on it all the time, yeah. So we don't have anybody positioned here, but GRIDCo has somebody over there on the tower over there, as they show you already, yeah. So we collaborate and then secure our facilities. I'm surprised anyway that we have security over here, we have people around here, yet still nobody was able to apprehend them, yeah.
The way forward?
The way forward is we are coming to cover our pipe up, make sure that no part is exposed, and then we deploy more security on the pipeline. And then we warn other depots around to also take precautionary measures.